Rain hammered against the glass as the 10th maid dragged her cheap suitcase down the marble steps. Her name was Sophia. Her uniform was wet from rain and tears. Behind her, the giant iron gate of the billionaire's mansion slowly closed, like a prison door. From the top window, a man in a dark suit watched her leave. Robert Hayes, billionaire, owner of a famous restaurant chain. He had fired 10 maids in just 2 months. He took a calm sip of coffee and said into his phone, "Security, make sure she never steps in my house again." No regret. No shame. As if he was throwing away a broken spoon. But he didn't know. Someone else was watching. In the room next door, his 12-year-old daughter Emma stood behind a curtain. Bare feet. Messy hair. Eyes full of pain. She had watched maid after maid leave in tears. She heard the shouting. She saw the fear. And now, the only maid who was kind to her, was walking away in the rain. "Why do you always do this, Dad?" she whispered, voice shaking. Sophia stopped at the gate and looked back once at the huge, cold mansion. Her shoulders were trembling. You could almost hear her thinking, "How can a house this big feel this heartless?" Robert turned away, already busy with business calls. He thought it was just another normal day. He had no idea that tonight, at the dinner table, his quiet little girl would finally speak. She would say one sentence. Just one. A sentence that would hit harder than any insult. A sentence that would shatter his pride, and expose how poor a rich man can really be. And what he did after that. No one in that house was ready for it. Ready to step into that mansion with me, and see how one little girl shook a billionaire's world? Let's begin. From outside, the Hayes mansion looked perfect. White pillars. Big windows. A sparkling fountain. Inside, the air was heavy. Evelyn, the strict head housekeeper, walked like a boss through the halls. "Move faster," she snapped at a new maid. "Mr. Hayes hates slow people." Workers whispered behind her back. "I heard he fired a maid for dropping a glass," one said. "No," another replied. "He fired her because she defended someone Evelyn shouted at." Robert believed he was just strict. "I built everything from zero," he liked to say. "If I can work hard, so can they. No excuses." He forgot one thing. Fear is not respect. In the middle of this cold, rich house lived Emma. Little Emma with her quiet voice and big sad eyes. No friends, no cousins visiting. Just guards, nannies, tutors, and maids who came and went like passing shadows. "Good morning, Miss Emma," they would say politely. And then, after a few days or weeks, they disappeared with a suitcase and red eyes. One night she asked her tutor, "Why does no maid stay?" "Adults have their own problems, dear," the tutor replied softly. Emma didn't buy it. Something in this house was breaking people. Then one day, she overheard Evelyn on the phone. "Yes, sir. The new maid starts tomorrow. She'll be number 10. Number 10. Emma lay awake that night, staring at the ceiling. 10 maids. 2 months. Was her house cursed, or was something else wrong? She hugged her pillow and closed her eyes. Tomorrow, maid number 10 would walk into their life. Emma had no idea that this maid would be the one who finally changed everything. Sophia arrived with one small suitcase and a hopeful smile. Her shoes were worn. Her coat too thin for the cold. But her eyes were bright. "You the new maid?" the guard asked. "Yes, sir. Sophia Marin," she answered. He shook his head. "Good luck. No one lasts here long." Inside, the mansion almost swallowed her. Marble floors, gold frames, huge stairs. Everything screamed money, but felt strangely empty. Evelyn appeared, arms crossed. "You're late," she lied, even though Sophia was on time. "I'm sorry, ma'am, the bus." "No excuses," Evelyn cut her off. "You will call me Mrs. Evelyn. You start with the guest rooms. No mistakes. No talking back." "Yes, Mrs. Evelyn," Sophia said quietly. Later, while changing pillow covers, she heard a soft voice behind her. "Hi." Sophia turned. A girl stood in the doorway. No shoes, oversized hoodie, messy ponytail. "Hello, miss," Sophia said politely. "Do you need something?" "It's just Emma," the girl said. "You don't have to be scared of me." Sophia smiled. "Nice to meet you, Emma." Emma walked in and sat on the bed. "Where do you live?" she asked. "A small place across the city," Sophia said. "It's crowded, a bit broken, but it's home. My dad is sick, so I work to help with his medicine." Emma listened like someone who rarely heard real-life stories. "Your house sounds warm," Emma said softly. "This one doesn't." Sophia glanced around at the perfect room. "I noticed," she replied. Over the week, Emma kept finding reasons to see her. "Can you help me with my books? Can you help me choose a sweater?" In truth, she just wanted a friend. One afternoon, while they folded clothes, Emma blurted out, "Do you know you're the 10th maid in 2 months?" Sophia froze. "No, I didn't." "They don't stay," Emma said. "Something bad always happens. They get blamed. They get fired." Sophia looked at the little girl's sad face. This house, she realized, didn't just hurt workers. It was slowly breaking its own child. And the test for maid number 10 was coming soon. The big mistake was only a few drops. Morning was busy. Sophia rushed in the kitchen, making Robert's coffee. Evelyn hovered behind her. "Extra hot. No spill. No delay," Evelyn warned. "He has a big meeting." Sophia carried the tray carefully up the stairs. In the study, Robert was on a loud call. "I don't care if you're late," he snapped into his phone. "Deliver, or I cut the contract." He motioned for the coffee without looking. Sophia stepped forward. Just then, his phone beeped loudly with a new message. She flinched. Her hand jerked. A few drops of coffee splashed onto his important papers. Silence. He slowly ended the call and stared at the stains. "Did you just spill coffee," he said quietly, "on a contract worth $3 million? "I'm so sorry, sir," Sophia stammered. "I can clean it, the ink." "Are you stupid?" he exploded, slamming his hand on the desk. At the door, Emma froze, watching. "You people are all the same," Robert shouted. "Careless. Lazy. I pay you more than you've ever seen, and you can't hold one cup." Sophia's eyes filled with tears. "I work very hard, sir," she whispered. "Please, it was a mistake." Evelyn stepped in. "I warned her, sir. Some people don't respect work." Robert pointed to the door. "Pack your things. You're fired." Sophia's face crumpled. "Sir, please," she begged. "My father's medicine." "I don't run a charity," he cut her off. "Security will escort you out." She wiped her tears and straightened. "For people like you," she said quietly, "being poor is a crime, isn't it, sir?" His eyes went cold. "Get her out." Emma watched from the hallway as Sophia was led away. Watched her walk through the grand doors. Watched the rain hit her thin coat. Something snapped inside Emma. That night at dinner, she decided she would not stay silent. What she was about to say would shake her father more than any business loss. Dinner was quiet. The table was full of food. Robert checked his phone between bites. Emma just stared at her plate. "Eat," he said. She didn't move. "Why did you fire Sophia?" she asked suddenly. He sighed. "She made a careless mistake. I can't keep staff like that. I have standards." "She was kind," Emma said. "She treated people like humans. Does that not matter?" "Kindness doesn't fix mistakes," he replied. "In business, you fail, you're out. Simple." Emma's eyes filled with tears. "This isn't just business, Dad," she said. "This is our home." He frowned. "Emma, You shout at people who can't shout back, she said, voice shaking but growing louder. You fire people who need these jobs to survive. You let Mrs. Evelyn humiliate them. You treat them like trash just because they're poor. Watch your tone, he warned. She stood up, hands trembling. No, she said. You watch yours. She took a deep breath. You always tell the story of how you were poor once, she said. You act proud of it in interviews. So why do you hate poor people now? The question hit him hard. He opened his mouth, but no words came. Emma's voice dropped to a whisper, but every word cut deep. Dad, a rich man who can't keep one kind person in his house, is poorer than any maid he fires. Silence. Evelyn looked away, uncomfortable. Robert stared at his daughter, shocked. Her words hung in the air like a mirror he couldn't escape. A rich man who can't keep one kind person in his house is poorer than any maid he fires. Emma wiped her tears. If this is what money does to people, she whispered, I don't want it. Then she walked away, leaving her father alone at the long, empty table. For the first time in years, Robert Hayes didn't feel powerful. He felt small. What he chose to do next would decide what kind of man he really was. Robert couldn't sleep that night. Emma's words echoed in his head. He walked through the dark halls and past the staff lounge. He heard tired voices. Sophia was the only one who asked about my son, the chef said. She sent medicine from her own pay when he was sick. Another added, she shared her lunch with the delivery boy last week. Said he looked hungry. Robert felt a lump in his throat. To him, Sophia had been maid number 10. To them, she had been family. The next morning, he called all staff to the living room. They lined up nervously. Evelyn stood at the front, stiff and confident. I have something to say, Robert began. His voice was calmer than they had ever heard. I have been unfair, he said. I thought being strict was the same as being right. I was wrong. People glanced at each other. If anyone here has been insulted or bullied, he added, looking briefly at Evelyn, that ends today. No more shouting. No more disrespect. Not from anyone. Then he said the words no one expected from a man like him. I owe Sophia an apology. He turned to security. Find her. Bring her here. Not as a maid. As a person I need to say sorry to. Hours later, a car pulled up. Sophia stepped out, confused and tense. Emma ran to her. Sophia. Robert walked forward. I was wrong, he said simply. The way I spoke to you was cruel. You didn't deserve it. I am sorry. Sophia stared at him, shocked. I don't expect you to forgive me, he added. If you ever want to work here again, it will be under new rules. But the choice is yours. She looked at Emma, then at the staff watching. I will come back, she said slowly. Only if you raise pay for the workers who travel far and send money home. They shouldn't have to choose between bus fare and food. Robert nodded. Done. Over the next weeks, things changed. Evelyn was removed from her position after complaints. A kinder supervisor was hired. Salaries were raised. Breaks were respected. Robert even started a small emergency fund for staff with sick family members. One afternoon, Emma saw her father sitting outside with the gardener, laughing about something. She went up to him. Dad. Yes, sweetheart. You seem happier, she said. He smiled softly. For the first time, he said, I feel rich in the right way. Because you kept one kind person in your house, she teased. Because I finally learned to see people, he replied. Sometimes, it only takes one sentence. From the right person. To rebuild a broken heart. If you were in Emma's place, would you be brave enough to speak to your father like that? And if you were Sophia, would you return to work after being treated badly, if the person truly changed? I'd love to hear your thoughts and real-life experiences.